Quarterback dominoes falling across the National Football League as the Geno Smith trade to the Las Vegas Raiders was the first of what many moves that are now transpiring in the free agent market. Free agency in the NFL opened up on at 9 a.m. this morning, and so 9 a.m. our time. And we saw, all right, what's going to happen next? Geno Smith opened the door for a Seahawks opening at quarterback.
Flurry of activity.
Yeah, and the first one really to fall was Justin Fields. Justin Fields holding the cards. Is he going to go to Pittsburgh? Is he going to go to New York? Nobody knew. One thing that we knew really quickly was that Sam Darnold, he was going to Seattle, and the Seahawks found their quarterback in Sam Darnold, inking the now journeyman to a multi-year deal. Not overpaying for Sam Darnold.
$55 million guaranteed, 3-year, $100.5 million.
So, yeah, you're on the hook for his cap number is going to be like $33 million a year. That is, we talked about this last week, middle of the road. We were talking, who's going to give him 40? I said, I hope nobody gives him 40.
No.
And he didn't get that.
No. And not only that, it's a new era underway, not just the quarterback position, but DK Metcalf gets traded and Tyler Lockett is out. So you've got to rebuild your wide receiver room around JSN, but they do get a second-round pick in the DK Metcalf trade. I would say that's probably earmarked for a wide receiver.
You'd hope. I mean,
if not their first-round pick.
I have my concerns with Sam Darnold going to Seattle, and I've made this known that. We know that Sam Darnold, and I was like a Sam Darnold defender, and then now I'm sitting there like, well, let's pump the brakes on what the ceiling of Sam Darnold is going to be, because he had Justin Jefferson, Jordan Addison, TJ Hawkinson, Aaron Jones, by the way, Kevin O'Connell as your play caller. It was a perfect storm for him to thrive, and he did, and that was the whole thing, is why I was a Sam Darnold defender before. Well, now you look at Seattle's offense. Seattle's offense has got their own issues, right? You have to figure out what's going on with the interior of your offensive line. You only have one wide receiver when you used to have three. You have a running back field that your running backs are good when they're healthy, but they're never healthy. You can't find a way to keep Kenneth Walker upright and on the field. You have a brand new offensive coordinator in Clint Kubiak who is stepping in, and you know what you're going to get. Stylistically, you're going to have quick decisions that are going to have to be made in the passing game, and he's going to be running a lot of outside zone because he is a Kubiak. It's an offshoot of the Shanahan system. You know exactly how it's going to look stylistically. Does that fit the personnel? And right now, it doesn't. It doesn't fit the personnel for Seattle, especially with Sam Darnold as your quarterback.
Yeah, look, I get the idea of Darnold as being your stopgap and moving on from Geno because he's getting older and you don't want to commit to him. You think you've reached the ceiling, so you're kind of doing a soft boot reset. But where's the rest of the plan? Like your running game is
Well, you need to fix your interior offensive line.
Yes, and your weapons are severely limited.
Yeah.
You've got Fant at tight end. You've got JSN as one of your receivers, but you need to figure out what you're going to do on the outside.
Everything else.
Yeah, and it's just kind of watching Seahawks fans on social media over the last couple of days, it appears they're all going through it. There are a lot of like, what's the plan here, dude?
Well, it's transition period for sure, but you got to collect assets. You got to get guys that are good values. And look, Darnold at this number, it actually is a good value now. Like you're okay with this. It's not you didn't go out and sign a quarterback to a crippling contract, Kirk Cousins, and say try to convince your fan base that this is going to be the guy that's going to take you to the promised land. Not by a long shot. Is it seem like a lot of money? It is to you and I, but in quarterback contract terms, it's okay. So Darnold goes to Seattle. Now you have Justin Fields, who he is going to the New York Jets. Hey, yo, Justin Fields to the Jets. And there was a bidding war for Justin Fields.
Which to me is just insane. I don't get it. I know Garrett Wilson is excited about this, his old college quarterback coming back to town. But the way you feel about Darnold is multiply it by 10 is how I feel about Justin Fields. I feel like he's
Well, I actually like Sam Darnold.
oh yeah, that's saying
You don't like Sam
No.
Darnold, or you
Well,
don't like Justin
no,
Fields.
I don't think he's worthy of being a starting quarterback under
Yeah.
any circumstance. I think he is a really good backup.
Mm-hmm.
I think he is a guy that you can go to. I don't think it is a good idea to build your team around or to even have him as a consideration for a stopgap quarterback if you have any idea about competing.
He is 2 years, $40 million deal. You can get out of it very quickly.
Oh yeah, it is a stopgap.
It is a very short deal. It is a prove it deal. And look, if one of the reasons why you make this move is you're looking at a litany of stopgap quarterbacks, and one of the reasons is Garrett Wilson will be happy with it, I think you do it.
It's not a bad idea.
You know what I mean? Like, keeping Garrett Wilson happy is going to be important. Obviously, they have a pre-existing relationship from playing with each other at Ohio State, and Garrett Wilson likes Justin Fields. Now we'll just say, all right, let's see how much you like him now, buddy. But of the options that were available, what was the other option for the Jets? You know?
Yeah.
Russ?
Do you go Russ? I mean, do you pursue Darnold before the Seahawks get it?
I mean, none of those. And again,
you're not going to bring Darnold back to New York.
They're in the same spot.
Yeah.
Sam Darnold cannot come back to the Jets, but cannot do it. You go get Daniel Jones because he worked so well across the street. No, you don't.
You had your options narrowed down for you.
Yeah. And so Justin Fields, it works there. Now you look at, okay, what are they going to do in Pittsburgh? What did they do in Pittsburgh? Now that we can check the box of Raiders got their quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
The Jets got their quarterback.
Vikings
have J.J. McCarthy still. So they're fine. The Seahawks, there's quarterback position opened up. They check that box. That leaves us with Pittsburgh and the Giants. And Pittsburgh created an entirely new issue with the fact that I said this last week. I said Mike Tomlin deals with crazy better than anybody else. I don't know if he even wants to deal with the crazy of George Pickens and DK Metcalf. He said, bet. Yeah. And you got two guys that can burn you vertically. Mm-hmm. By the way, take your over on whatever preseason yards or Pat Freiermuth because he's going to be open all season long. He's going to be open. If they can find a quarterback to deliver it to him. Because right now, who is Pittsburgh's quarterback going to be?
Rodgers.
Aaron Rodgers, Daniel Jones.
If you're going to double down on crazy, that's the move.
I cringe at the idea of Aaron Rodgers playing in AFC North weather at the end of next year.
I mean,
he
played in NFC North weather his whole career.
Yeah, when he was mobile.
That's true.
It could get real bad.
Not 41.
And oh, by the way, 2 of those stadiums were domed. There are no domes in the AFC North.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
Oh, man. And there's really damn good defenses, too.
Yeah, well, I mean, do you bring Russ back?
That was so. But now you have Russell Wilson knowing, because all of the reporting was that Justin Fields was like, no, it's either Pittsburgh or New York. Mm-hmm. I know I can go back to Pittsburgh. You know that you're
what your preference was.
Second choice. Yeah. And it didn't go well at the end of last year. I mean, like, that's the thing. Is Russell Wilson going to be the Giants quarterback next year?
Oh, God. Yeah. Boy, this is why I think the Raiders did the prudent thing. They did this on Friday and got their quarterback taken care of, so they weren't in this position of, oh crap, what do we do? I mean, if you're the Giants, do you trade for Kirk Cousins?
No.
The Kyler Murray stuff apparently had some legs.
I'm the one team that you want to talk about an awful contract. We said it was an awful contract at the time. Kirk Cousins' deal looks even worse now because was coming off an injury and you gave him a bloated contract and he looked terrible. And then at the end of the year, he's like, no, it wasn't the Achilles. That wasn't the reason. It was my arm. It's like, oh, yeah, that's a great selling point,
Yeah,
Kirk.
that might be worse.
Yeah, no, absolutely not. So this is going to be all of a sudden where the sliding doors have opened and closed across this quarterback carousel. The Raiders made a very smart move. They got a very good Band-Aid. And look, the reality is that Geno Smith getting traded from Seattle to Vegas is probably where you also see a team like the Steelers or the Giants fix their quarterback problem for this year. Is they go and they trade for a guy that people really don't expect. It's not going to be a star because stars don't get traded in the NFL at the quarterback position. And they are going to find a way to fix their little issue that's going to be a massive issue, especially in Pittsburgh. George Pickens and DK Metcalf, you can't just bring a stopgap quarterback in. You've got to bring in a guy that can tell those chuckleheads on the outside, hey, I know what I'm doing.
Yeah, fall in line.
Does
Aaron still have that cachet?
No, I think he does.
Yeah,
just because he's Aaron Rodgers.
Mm-hmm.
But is that also a deal where Mike Tomlin, you doubled your crazy at receiver, you're going to quadruple your crazy at quarterback?
Yep.
I'm in.
Look, if you can handle Antonio Brown, you can handle these guys crazy. Because Antonio Brown is the combination of all three of them.
Well, and he had Le'Veon Bell there too. Yeah. You know,